This video deals with relationship marketing. Relationship marketing is a concept dedicated to maintaining customer loyalty. It looks at interaction and long-term engagement. So here we're talking about the cultivation of customer loyalty, the building up of a good reputation and building up of a good status in the mind of the customer. It's a long-term relationship. It's dealing with the customer over a long period of time and getting to know the customer requirements, getting to know the type of customers they are, and facilitating their needs, accommodating their needs, and producing products that precisely coincide with their needs and addressing their needs, and at a price they can afford. So it's a whole range of ideas based on knowing the customer, knowing what the customer can afford, what the customer requirements are, and doing this over a long period of time. The aim in relationship marketing is to use methods, tactics and strategies to develop relationships with customers and to maintain them. So it's not just getting to know the customers, but maintaining contact with the customers and understanding the changing needs of the customers, so that the organization may, in a sense, almost mutate. The organization may change its product line in line with what the customer's requirements are. And there is a deep understanding on the part of the organization of what the customer's requirements are. So customer satisfaction is an important element as it leads to customer loyalty. The organization is constantly trying to determine what products satisfy the customer's needs and trying to produce those products with good quality, good distribution, good communications channels associated at a price the customers can afford. So it's trying to satisfy customer requirements and in that way build up customer loyalty. So it'll have the benefits of repeated sales. Now there are two approaches we can contrast here: traditional marketing and relationship marketing. Well, with traditional marketing, the aim is to make a single sale. So it's to try and sell the product. Whereas with relationship marketing, it's trying to retain customers. It's trying to build up a relationship with the customers and retain the customers. So there is a difference. The traditional marketing is more short-term, whereas the relationship marketing is long-term. It's looking at the customer's requirements over a long period of time and trying to satisfy the customer's requirements and dealing with the customers over a long period of time and building up almost a database of requirements and building up from feedback from the marketing department and from surveys and from contact with the customers, building up information about the customers so that the organization is better positioned to satisfy the customer requirements. With traditional marketing, generally speaking, sales are made to anonymous buyers. The sales are just made to buyers. The company doesn't know who the buyers are. But with relationship marketing, the company may know the customers. It may have a database of past experiences of contact with the customers, perhaps coming through customer care or coming through to the organization or to the company regarding questions about usage or issues that have arisen in the past. So the company may have more precise contact details with the customer. Of course, it depends critically on the nature of the product. If the product is somewhat more expensive, then there's more of a need to know the customers. If it's a very cheap consumer product, the company may not have individual customers' details, because it wouldn't be economic to save those. With traditional marketing, a salesperson is the only contact between the buyer and the seller. So a salesperson makes the contact between the buyer and the seller and facilitates the buyer's need to acquire the product. So we can imagine a salesperson at a counter making a sale, and that's the contact. With relationship marketing, different levels of relationship development between the buyer and the seller may exist. So it may be that there are different layers of contact. Perhaps with relationship marketing, the customers will deal with a salesperson, but they may also know the manager, or they may know some part of the organization as well. And the company will know that customer from their past purchases and what they looked at previously and what they're interested in, and they may even know something about the customer's lifestyle. So the company will be working with some information about the customer, and that's the idea behind relationship marketing. With traditional marketing, there's no customer commitment. The traditional marketing, the organization is there to make a sale. But with relationship marketing, they're trying to please the customer, build up a reputation in the mind of the customer, facilitate the customer's requirements, and try to make repeated sales into the future. So we can see there are big differences between traditional marketing and relationship marketing. Relationship marketing, much more long-term, trying to build up a relationship with the customers. Traditional, if you like, more short-term, more anonymous, dealing with the customers, just making individual sales. Relationship, trying to make sales over a long period, building up a relationship with the customers. Finally, quality is the responsibility of the production department in terms of traditional marketing. With relationship, there's a great deal of care given to quality, and all of the various departments will be involved in ensuring that the customer has a good experience of the product. So it's not just checking the quality in terms of production, it's making sure that every contact the customer makes with the organization is a good contact. It's professionally dealt with and followed up. And there is a commitment to quality right throughout the organization, that the customer feels that they are being valued and respected, and they are going to get good treatment from the organization. So it's a long-term relationship. Now, the uses of relationship marketing, well, it's mostly applied in the context of high price or value, and in terms of the quality of the products and services. So it's, generally speaking, high price goods. There's relationship marketing perhaps for the sale of cars or computers or more expensive items. As I said earlier, we don't get relationship marketing, generally speaking, for sweets or cheap confectionery or whatever. It's not viable on the part of the organization to maintain a big database about customers who buy the cheaper products, but more expensive products, it's worthwhile. Sometimes the literature tends to suggest and be overly committed to the idea of industrial products being ideal for relationship marketing, and that is true, but it can happen with consumer products as well. As I said, cars, computers, home equipment for the kitchen, white kitchenware, and so on. So many of the more expensive items in the consumer market will be valid for relationship marketing. Industrial products, particularly the more expensive ones, machines and different types of customized machinery and so on. The companies will maintain databases about the requirements of other companies, of their customers who are other companies. So industrial products will also be valid for relationship marketing. Customers are more comfortable with developing and maintaining relations. It's important that the customers want the company to maintain information about them, that it's not seen as prying or it's intrusive into their lives or into their businesses. So it's important that the customers want the company to maintain information and maintain contact with them. That the customers feel that they benefit from the contact, as well as the organization getting feedback from the customer about the product, about its quality, about its usage, its durability, and so on, about its value for money. Sometimes customers could be involved in the production process. With Dell computers, the customer can pick the components they want in the machine and place an order. So in a sense, the customers are building the machine, building the computer. They talk about the type of processor they require, the amount of hard drive, the type of hard drive, the type of graphics card, and so on. So the customers are, in a sense, building the machine. And there is a situation where there is relationship marketing. Now, the relationship marketing process, well, develop a service delivery system, set service standards. So it's important that there is an established service delivery system, that it's not just simply a question of maintaining information about the customers and determining the customer's requirements and building a long-term relationship, but the customers must feel that the company acts on it, acts on the information and has a service delivery system that's efficient and meets their requirements. It's just not that the company builds up information about the customers and does nothing with it. It must use that information and build up a good service delivery system and set high delivery and service standards. So the company must overcome any service issues, and it must do that efficiently, so that the customers who are in this relationship marketing situation with the company, they see the advantages of that. Otherwise, it will peter out, it will fade away. The company should set standards for each element element of the service delivery. So there should be standards set, and the customer should be aware of the standards. So if the company says that a replacement will be with the customer within 1 working week, it should be there. That's what they set as a standard, and the customers will feel that they understand the company, they're in contact with the company, they're in this relationship marketing situation, so they feel that the company knows about them and they can trust the company to honor its commitments. The process is also to develop a customer awareness and communication system. It's important that the customers are aware of the products that the company makes and also aware of the commitment the company has to giving good customer service. And there should be a good communication system to enable customers to contact the organization and to make feedbacks about any issue associated with the product or the service. There should be appropriate staff training on maintaining service standards and maintaining good customer relationships. The company must have suitable staff who will develop relationship marketing. The staff should be trained to do this. The staff should be polite, they should be efficient, they should understand the customers and the customer requirements. They should know the business completely and be familiar with the products and be able to empathize with the buyers and know what the buyer requirements are and recommend appropriate products. So they are providing a service. It's supplementary service. It's helping the buyers make appropriate decisions. So monitor service standards by evaluating customer satisfaction. This could be approached in the following manner. So it's important to monitor the service standards by evaluating customer satisfaction. And customer satisfaction may be gauged through focus groups by inviting customers to, let's say, a hotel, take a room in a hotel and set up a situation where the customers are interviewed and they can talk amongst themselves and give various ideas, and the open-ended discussions, loosely organized discussions, but with a facilitator, someone who keeps the conversations and the comments related to the product and related to the customer experiences. These are good ways of getting feedback from customers. The customers could be invited to the company to see the company and then participate in a focus group, or as an away day, as I said, at a hotel or at some conference center. So what the focus group is a group of, say, customers who were invited by the company. There's a facilitator who wants to get answers to some particular issues, and the participants are allowed to talk freely and openly and in an unstructured fashion. And the facilitator makes notes but tries to keep everyone on a particular theme. And then later on, an analysis is done of the various comments that were made to try and get an insight. And in that way, the service standards can be monitored. What the customers think about the service standards can be picked up. It could be done by interviews. The interviews could be open-ended, could be quite informal, or they could be highly structured. Structured ones may be somewhat intimidating, and at the same time the customers may feel that they're not particularly that interested in spending a lot of time answering a lot of questions. So interviews could be used. Questionnaires. The trouble with questionnaires is nowadays people get so many questionnaires or invitations to complete so many questionnaires. There's a little bit of weariness involved, and people don't have a lot of time to sit down answering questionnaires, so they may be reluctant to respond. Mystery shoppers. In some situations, a mystery shopper could be used. In other words, in the context, let's say, of a company supplying a product, then perhaps one of the employees of the company secretly places an order for a product and then tries to work out what his or her experience is of receiving the product and his or her contacts with the business, and then feeds that back to the business. They're just testing their own system to see how the system is working in practice, and based on the experience of the mystery shopper or the person testing the sales of a business and the contact with the business and the quality of the contact, that person can then feed back what the experiences is, and the company can improve their performance accordingly. Customer complaints are valuable in monitoring service, but essentially when customer complaints are used, it means that the problem has already arisen. The issue has already arisen, and the company is learning from something bad that has happened already. The complaint has been made. So in a sense, it's almost too late to deal with those customers. The company has to work hard to maintain customer loyalty and maintain the relationship. So although customer complaints are useful for refining future practices, in a sense, that should not have arisen in the first place. Suggestion boxes can be used amongst the employees and amongst all the employees to try and pick up better ways of monitoring the services and ensuring that the customers are getting good value for money. Conducting services, in other words, trying to vary the services that are used to see which one is most appropriate. Perhaps there's only one in any particular circumstance, but trying to see it, and it links back almost with the mystery shopper or the person from within the organization who tries to test the organization by placing orders to see what the experiences of a typical customer would be. So trying to test out the services and see which ones are most appropriate. Of course, market research could be used. It's expensive and it's a little formal, and could also, because of its formality and the time it takes, it may cause existing customers to query whether they should be working with this company because of the time commitment involved by the company in trying to collect information. They may see it as very intrusive and time consuming and may not want to participate. It's important to keep staff motivated by rewarding them for exceeding customer service levels. In relationship marketing, it's long term. It's trying to maintain the relationships. So staff should be motivated to ensure that they maintain good relationships with the customers. It's relationship marketing. So the staff within the organization should be rewarded for exceeding customer service levels. So the staff should undertake regular training courses to keep them updated and to improve their service knowledge. It's certainly the case that the staff should know the product range of the business. They should know it completely. So when they're contacted by a customer, they don't have to go away consulting lots of manuals to try and find out the answer. As far as possible, they should know the answer. And they should know what the products are. It may not be possible because the company may produce a wide range of products, but as far as possible, they should know the product range and be as familiar as possible with the product range. The advantages of relationship marketing, well, the organizations aim to provide high levels of customer satisfaction. We said that right at the start. The idea is to satisfy the customers so the customers have a good experience and they will come back and make future purchases. And customer retention is a key factor for success. Trying to keep the existing customers. It's easier to keep existing customers than to find new ones because the company knows where the customers are and what the customers' requirements are. Clearly it will need new customers if it needs to grow, but keeping existing customers is very important. The method looks into marketing, service and quality for customers, in effect achieving competitive advantage. So relationship marketing, because it's long term, because it builds up this relationship with the customers, it knows the customers' requirements, it attempts to satisfy those, and it tries to gain a competitive advantage. It blocks other companies, the competitors, from selling to those customers because it knows the customers' requirements. It has built up relationships with those customers. The customers know what its service provisions are. It knows when they place an order, they know when it will arrive. They trust the company. They have contact with the company. They perhaps know people within the company that they phone and speak to. Good customer relationships increases word of mouth promotion, and customers are less likely to go to competitors. When customers have good relationships with a company, they will tell their friends, they will tell other organizations, the word will get around. So in this way, the competitors will have a tougher time. The company will gain competitive advantage. Now, the disadvantages of relationship marketing, well, it can be a costly process and create competitive disadvantage in markets where price is the main decision factor. Because it's costly, sometimes the companies have to charge a little more for the products, which depends on the nature of the product, depends on the nature of the market. It may be the customers are very price sensitive. They don't particularly want contact with the company. They don't particularly want a lot of contact. They just want the product, and they're sensitive to price. So in that sense, a company that's attempting to have relationship marketing in that situation may find it counterproductive. They have to increase the price slightly to pay for the extra services, and as a consequence, they will lose sales. There are circumstances where customers have no need to make further purchases. Sometimes relationship marketing can be too intrusive and too enthusiastic. There are situations where people, let's say, buy a new car, and they've just had the car for a few months, when the dealership will send them information about new products that have come on the market, new cars that have come on the market since they bought theirs. But their car is only 6 months old. And that new contact is not welcomed. So sometimes customers have no need for future purchases for a long time, so they don't want to have constant contact with the company. They don't want to be invited to participate in focus groups or to give feedback or answer questionnaires, or they just want to enjoy the product, and they will make a purchase in many years from then. Relationship marketing is not recommended in the following situations: where there's low value products or services. As I said earlier, if the company is selling confectionery or sweets or chocolate, cheap chocolate, it doesn't have relationship marketing requirements. The relationship marketing will be far too elaborate and far too expensive. They're just low value products placed in local shops. For consumer products, generally speaking, there's no relationship marketing. If you buy an electric kettle, you don't form a marketing relationship with the company. Chances are you just bought a cheap consumer product. So there's no need to be involved in any long-term marketing relationship with the business. If switching costs are low, if people can switch from one product to another cheaply, then there is no relationship marketing situation relevant. They're able to move from one product to another, skip over, try out a different product, skip back and go back to this one. There's no relationship marketing. They're not in contact with the company. There's no big issue to discuss. It's a cheap product, and the customers are can easily change from one product to the next. If it's just one transaction, there is no advantage in relationship marketing. There's going to be no future sales. It's only one transaction. So there's no future sales. So why have relationship marketing? Why spend money and resources on specialist workers within the organization who's going to build up relationships with the customer. The customer has only made one transaction and will ever only make one transaction. So there's no need for relationship marketing. Could be there's minimal or no customer involvement in production or in solving problems. It could be that the product is so straightforward there's no need to consult with the customers. Customer satisfaction is derived from the product, but the product is, let's say, so straightforward, so obvious, and so easy to understand, use. The quality is acceptable for whatever reason. So there's no need to have customer relationship marketing. There's no need to involve the customers on a regular basis. It's a straightforward situation. So these are some of the ideas related to relationship marketing that are worth noting. It's worth also, of course, visiting the literature and making your own notes and padding out these notes so you have a more comprehensive set from which to revise and read. That's all I'm going to deal with in this situation, so let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.